Hello. Good evening. Hello, Rupali. Good to see you. Thanks for joining. We have a couple interesting things I wanted to talk about tonight. Rupali, sure, yeah, absolutely. If you'd like to pose a question, I'll go ahead and throw a card for you. And just in the meantime, I'm gonna light an incense and then shuffle. So. Oh, okay, sure. No, I'll take a look at that. So apparently, I just so I understand properly, what you're saying is that you've looked into this situation before, and your impression is that people who have read the situation have looked at it and are looking at his ex and thinking that it's you, but it's not you, it's his ex, and how he feels about them, not you. Right? So we should just make sure that when we're looking at this particular circumstance, that we are very careful that we're looking at you and his energy and not the way he feels about somebody else. Okay, so then I'll definitely take a look at that. No problem. Okay, guys. All right. My little puppies are playing. We got a little rowdy. Right, little Melanie? Okay, so. Sure, a little clarity, no problem. We can do that. Let's see. I'm going to save that for later then. Let's do this. I'm going to grab the Oracle of the Radiant Sun. And essentially what we're going to do here is the personal note. Basically a message to the situation. And the reason I chose this particular deck is because it focuses on a very broad astrological concepts that can really give you a good picture karmically of the situation, the environment. Okay. Oh, you want to use a tarot? You would. Okay, sure. Let's see. I can do the Thoth. I think Thoth is a good deck. This is very similar to the tarot in that sense. What it does is the cards are. I'll show you one as an example before I finish shuffling and use it. On the bottom of the card is a planet and a sign. Okay, and the planet and the sign together, provide the insight. Very much in the way that the tarot is related to the planets and the signs as well. This is an example of that. Let's see, which one's a good example? This. The inside of this cross, where it has the letters in Hebrew, that inner circle arrangement of colors, that's called the rose cross, and in there those letters represent the signs, the planets, and the elements. And now that being said, the tarot is intrinsically connected to astrology, and so it's a very similar vocabulary, having the sign and the planet, and it sort of gives you a broad. What I'll do, I'll pull both. We can actually do that, but it gives you a very broad view karmically, and it's effective for that. And so I'll pull from here, and then I'll grab a tarot deck and do the same thing. I'll pull and put it next to it. Okay. Oh, how do you like that? That's funny. Well, all right. So that card obviously is very significant because you know there was a lot of shuffling and cutting, and it popped right back up, and that means something. And what we have here, just to clarify, is Venus in Aquarius. Okay, and what I see with respect to detachment is there you have this person here, and you have this boat. The boat is leaving, or is coming. The direction of the boat is kind of the question, but not really. This individual who is under the water, the idea here is that the detachment is due to the fact that there is an emotional inconsistency. There's an emotional instability. Okay, puppy. And that instability leads to there being like an emotional detachment. What's causing that instability is the question. So interestingly, let's grab that tarot card, and I'll use that to take a look at how we can define what's causing that separation. Now detachment, another word for that would be sort of like aloof, like not really in a place to want to readily communicate, right? And so let's find out why. So I'm going to grab a tarot deck. This is the Hanson Roberts. It's a Rider-Waite Smith-based tarot. I quite like the artwork for the back of the deck. Let's take a look at that. Not quite something. It has a very retro vibe with the color, you know, that cyan kind of blue against that pinkish purple, and just the design in general. It's really something. But the colors, they I don't know, they invoke a certain quality that I quite like. And so let's take a look at this, and what is the root, the cause, the motivating factor behind this situation. Wow, you know, this card is very similar, actually. How do you like that? The tarot version this would be very, very similar. The Page of Cup is somebody who has a kind of airy quality about their personality that can sometimes be construed as out there in their own world, you know, not very communicative, or when they are, it seems maybe overly emotional, or it seems overly perhaps difficult to communicate. So in a circumstance like that, it's very, very similar to this card. These two have a lot of similar qualities. That said, the way I see this is that there's, you know, because the question here is current feelings. And in a lot of these cases, like in this case, what we have is this level of detachment, which is coming from a place of, okay, puppy. All right, guys. Okay. Enough. That's a good boy. The detachment comes from this place of a mental instability, right? And so that could be a fear that is not necessarily true. It's not justified, but it exists, right? And that's something that you have to kind of work through. And now over here, you have at the same time a card that is very indicative of that similar state. The idea of there being an instability emotionally. Now, one interesting thing here too is that in both cases there is this representation of water, right? And so it appears that there is a level of emotion involved in the situation, But there does seem to be, and it seems to be, it's going to be a continuous kind of a lack of a desire or an ability to communicate that, and that's going to be a persistent situation. Yeah. Okay. Put this here. Okay. If you guys don't mind, I'm just going to kind of take care of the dogs real quick, and then I'll be back. It'll just be a moment. I think maybe a couple treats, and separating a few bones, and then maybe that we can have a little bit of a more peaceful environment while we continue to do this. So let me take care of that, and I'll be right back. Okay?